I gotta make sure everything's up.
Hi everyone, welcome back to our channel, Tea with Lou and T. Imagine I even forgot the name the way I haven't been recording in so long, guys. Thank you for joining us. This next couple of weeks, we're starting a new series, which is conversations amongst people that studied mining engineering and went into a different career path altogether. And this conversations will be facilitated by Usidro Mota or Tabiso. I don't know which names he's known by because
Mota will do.
All of him. So Mota, please, just a quick introduction and then we can get right into it.
Hi guys, I'm so excited to be here with you guys today in one of my favorite YouTube channels. I want just to thank also Ulukona in absentia, for allowing us as well with T to have this conversation. I think it's quite critical that we do have this conversation. We seek for job security, and we forget to have conversations that propel us towards a career portion. Stuff that. So let's jump right into it. T, I'm honored to be having this conversation with you today.
Thank you for starting this conversation, actually. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure. T, please take us quickly about you. You study mining from VETS. 2014, you get into mining. 2013, you graduate, right?
Graduated 2017, yes. 17, yes.
2017, sorry, you graduate.
Yes, graduate then.
Yes, and then where do you go after that? Why do you choose to go there? What happens? Take us through that first year.
So after I studied mining, I worked for a company that would be considered big in its own right. It's an international mining company. Yeah, it's an international mining company in the Northern Cape. So it's an open. People that want to know details, it's an open pit. A lot of people that don't do mining ask, what's an open pit? An open pit.
So I covered in another video.
It's literally an open pit. But that's where I worked. It was a surface mine. And my first year of working was financially was great because rent is 10 Rand with electricity, with water, with a fully furnished house. You are getting medical, like every other mining company, you get medical aid benefits, pension fund benefits, production bonuses. I mean, at the time when I started at the mine, we were working on, it wasn't a mine as yet, it was still called a project, but we had a sister mine. Yeah, we had a sister mine across the road and we were getting their bonuses, production bonuses. So best that like it was great financially, like, and I had one of the very fortunate Black South Africans that don't have black tax or have to send money home or all of those things. So what I earned was mine. So it was an amazing time financially. Like I probably had the best of trips that year, and I was a proper baller. And that financially was great. But actual career development, it was bad for me. So I just want to put out that disclaimer that because we're individuals, we all have different experiences and we might be in the exact same setting. Do you understand? So for me personally, it wasn't a great place to be because my career development was not supported. My career development was not aided. So it was more of I go in, I go out, and that's it. What you do between your clock in time and your clock out time they couldn't be bothered. They really couldn't be bothered. And I mean, for the first few months, don't get me wrong, it was good. Like for the first 4 months or so. And I think it was good because it was a new environment. They had new people. So there was lots for them to show, chill here for a bit, be with this department for a bit. But after a while, we need to get into the real training of graduates. We need to get you to do your blasting. We need to get you to do this. We need to, and I mean, it's in mining, especially production. it's a set thing. Do you understand? It doesn't differ from this mine to that mine. If it's open cast, we kind of know, open pit, sorry, we kind of know what has to be done. You need to get your blasting, you need to do this, you need to do that, you need to do this, and this lands you there, and that does this. But there was no support in that regard. So that wasn't.
I'm coming from a corporate environment, right? And in my corporate environment, I just do not agree with you for the sake of agreeing. I just want the authenticity in these conversations, right? And I am a great believer of taking initiative, right? Yourself to the boundaries and not just sitting and waiting for people to tell you what. Using your downtime productively. What were you doing in that first year where you felt like you were underutilized?
It was, I would blame myself if I sat there and did nothing about it. But I believe I did all I could at the time, even in retrospect, because I would go to planning manager, knock at his door for work or for this or for help. Do you need any help? Could I do something? Do you understand? Went even to blasting engineers, went to mine manager, went to production manager, went to the pit soups, Baki, went to training advisor. I mean, there was a point where the way it was so bad, I would literally help out or HR. Our HR wasn't situated at the mine, it was situated in town. So for the day, I would just sit in town and help out at the regional office, literally doing copy work or doing filing, do you understand? I really put myself out there, and I was open to whatever it is people wanted to teach me. But
that helps too.
At some point, it gets tiring if there's no support and there's no direction. It even came to a point where we were with other graduates. We sat down and we compiled a program that we got from other people in other mines in similar operations, and we put down a training program, sent it out, nothing. So do you understand? At that point, there's only, as an individual, there is only so much effort and push you can give, but at some point you need the support from supervisors. You need support from, and I mean, I want to also put out this disclaimer that career development is up to you. You decide your pace. You decide how much you learn at a time. You decide how much you can do at a time. But you need support. You can't, it's not a lonesome journey. You're not a lone ranger. Do you understand? You need support from people. You need support from your organization. You need support from your supervisor. And as I said, there's only so much you can do. I mean, if I can't get my manager's signature to submit blasting, no matter how many shifts I do. Do you understand? So it just came to a point where I was like, I have a career and this is just a job. I have to stay committed to my career, because that's the only thing that you really have to yourself. And I want to make it what I want and not what somebody dictates that to be, if that makes sense.
See, you were one of the few female mining engineers in that mine at the time. Female black young mining engineers at the time.
Probably the only female engineer.
I just want to check as well, how did you use that time except going around, when all that finally falls flat, what did you then start doing with your time?
So, okay, I just also want to put that out there that young female mining engineers, aspirants, there is opportunity for Black women in the mining industry.
Yes.
We're at a point where work has been done on our behalf, and we just have to come in and dominate. Do you understand? We've got women that have gone up the mining ladder when it wasn't fashionable for women to do so, and they've laid the groundwork for us. They've been in spaces before us and have almost sensitized men about the presence of women, or desensitized, I'm not sure which is the English word to use here, but the groundwork has been done for us. Do you understand? liken it to a mining it's no longer a greenfields project. It's
Okay.
a brownfields project. You can just go in there and do your thing. There's opportunity. There is no better time to be a Black female mining engineer in a mine than right now. So I just wanted to put that out there. So with that being said, there was already a path that had been set, and you could also tell with the treatment they gave you as the Black female engineer, because Guza, what you call this, a DMR representative, you as the Black female are in the lead over your managers. You as the Black female are the ones that are, do you understand? You almost become the face of the mine, if I can put it that way. And with that, your career path becomes set, because as these people come, you're their representation of Black people, and that's their
in the mine. Yes.
Yes, and that's their BE status, you know, like, look, we've got females and they're Black type of vibe, you know. So with that, there was really a path for me, and I could see that they were all directing me to becoming the mine's Black female mine manager. It was going to that, and for mine manager, move up in this particular company. Do you understand?
Yeah.
Those were the opportunities that were given to me. But for me, without the career development, that is useless, because I just become a poster girl and a yes woman. I just say yes to whatever you want, because I don't know any better for that position. And there's no respect as well that comes with that from your fellow colleagues, because they know you've been pushed and you don't. Deserving it is one thing, but not being ready is another thing. But when you just don't have the content for that job, it's even worse. You're really just a gatekeeper. So that's what I was avoiding within that. So in the meantime, I thought, you know what, to just try and get myself a little prepared, I'll do online courses. I'll do Excel courses. I took took 2 Excel courses. I took writing courses. I started a Lean Six Sigma, which is about optimization. I took that, and I was like, you know what, at least let me start the journey, and wherever they find me, they can just assist to get me there. But it just wasn't happening. So yeah.
One of the challenges, for female young engineers in the mining industry is the issue of mentorship, right? That we struggle with getting mentors, especially. Can you speak around that?
The ladies will understand me. So the mining industry, for a large portion, does not really subscribe to the labor laws regarding sexual harassment. And a lot of females will understand, because now it's not physical touching, because that's what they understand as sexual harassment. It becomes sexual innuendos being passed during meetings. It becomes sexual innuendos being passed on the corridor. So finding a mentor within that space proved to be difficult because of that sexual undertone that lies beneath conversations. So with women, I mean, don't get me wrong, I tried women, but as I said, although there are women in the industry that are up there, there's very few of them, and a lot of incoming young females. So those women would be inundated with other mentees. So, and with a mentor relationship, there needs to be communication, constant, not even constantly. Yeah, they should be a good relationship between the people, and you can't do that if you've got 100 other people that you need to give the same attention to. So that I understood, and I was like, okay, let me try black males. I was very specific actually when I started, because I was like, I'm gonna look for someone that's my color, because South Africa and it's mining. So I was like, I'm gonna look for black males. And black males, a lot of them would just inappropriate, for lack of a better term. It was, yeah, it was just, it wasn't appropriate. And although let me give credit to the one guy actually that I did find, but he left the country after a month. So there goes that one. Do you understand? So it just became difficult. And the craziest thing, Marta, is when I switched careers and I'm right now where I am, I'm being mentored by Afrikaner white males. So that was to me an eye-opener that sometimes you seek help where you find help in the most unlikely places, because with the context of our country, you've got a white Afrikaner male who is considered top of the food chain and a black female who's considered at the bottom of the food chain, and there's a mentorship relationship there, and without them seeking sexual favors from me. So for me, that was it was an eye-opener being the person that I am and a racially aware person that I am. So yeah, that's how mentorship has played out in my career.
It really is an eye-opener, because most of the time what we do is we exclude ourselves. Like, you had made a decision that you're going to go for black mentors for some weird reason, and only to find out that for you, your mentorship was not going to come from that space. So
No,
it made you to get over this you had for you to find help.
And I think why I specified that I wanted black people was my background. I went to an Afrikaner school. So my outlook on white males wasn't a pleasurable one. They were in my head, and how I grew up, there were these undefiable figures of authority. Do you understand what I mean? And taking the context of our country and how I grew up, there were these undefiable authoritarian figures. So I wanted and oppressive figures, authority and oppressive. So I wanted black people because I wanted somebody who would understand when they're giving me advice or direction or whatever it is, they would understand what it is like to be this color skin tone. Do you understand? They would understand there are some struggles that white people won't understand on the basis, they could relate to it, but they wouldn't understand on the basis of their skin tone. So I wanted somebody that could relate to me, hence why I started with black women, because they could relate on skin tone basis as well as gender basis. And when that didn't, I was like, okay, let's see if I can get someone on the skin tone basis, and just didn't happen for me. So I just wanted to clarify why it was specific people that I wanted to mentor me.
Okay. Now we're moving, T. We're moving from mining. We're fed up. Is that all the reasons that you decided to move? The lack of thingy? We're taking to move. And please, if there are any, share with us.
I'm glad you asked that, because
share with us why.
I think with that, thank you for asking that, because although there was all this career thing, which made a great percentage of it, there was also a part where, again, keep in mind what I said about the career path that had been set for me at this particular company. And then something happens, boom, I get sexually assaulted by someone at the mine. So do you understand now the level of difficulty it adds? Not only are you untrained, let's say now, let's fast forward 5 years. Not only are you untrained and in this particular position, but you have to lead somebody that did something so unspeakable to you. So you're just like, this is not the hill I want to die on. This is definitely not the monument that I want to lay my life on. So let me just make a calm exit and let's leave this life behind. And I didn't move to another mine per se, because I was like, something about this industry and its skeletons follow you wherever you are. So I was like, I don't want this to come up whenever I'm given a position or recognition in this industry. So let me bow out. My time's up. Let me go. So that was I think that was the nail on the coffin, because I probably would have lost it a bit longer had that incident not taken place. So yeah, those are the reasons.
Not happening.
Without looking back.
So what do you do now?
Okay, what do I do now? That's a weird question. But in terms of
because that's the gist of this conversation, right?
Yeah, no, that's dude. People ask that on dates. That's weird.
What do you do? I also want to know, what do you do, T?
So
corporate, but what do you do?
I'm in a small company. What would be classified as a QSE according to legislation?
What's a QSE?
Ooh, qualified. What is it? QSE. Ooh, yeah, qualifying small enterprise, special enterprise.
Okay.
Forgot what the E stands for.
Yes.
Qualifying small enterprise. Yes.
Yeah.
Qualifying small enterprise. So that's where I am, in a company that does, amongst many other things, like project financing and modeling, claims disputes management, a lot of other things. I'm in the advisory and management business stream, and excuse me. And what I do on a daily basis, I work on a lot of transaction advisory services. So far in the year and a half that I've been there, I've been working on PPP projects, that is public-private partnerships. And yeah, that's what I do. I've been working mostly as a transaction advisor between these parties.
But how did you find that job? How did you know it was the right job for you?
Okay, interesting.
What are some of the skills that you need to be building on the job?
That's a very interesting question. Can I tell you that the way I was so fed up, every job that came up on LinkedIn, I applied. And this was one job I did not qualify for at all. They wanted someone with 6 years experience. I had 1. They wanted someone with at least an engineering and financial background. I had just a technical engineering background. I can't even remember, but I just remember reading that job advert. I'm like, I don't qualify, but I'm applying, because I was at that point. I was fed up. And how I got it, oh yes. So they called me in for an interview, and it was probably one of the weirdest interviews of my life, because the person that interviewed me then is now my director, my line manager. And so we came in, sat, there was none of the interview questions you prepare for. Tell me more about yourself. How do you work in a group? None of that. None. So it actually threw me off. He came in and he said, we do advisory and management. So he gave me a problem. The problem was, how would you formalize the taxi industry? I looked at that guy, I was like, you kidding me? I don't come here to formalize it. I came here for a job interview. At that point, and as I said at the beginning, I'm the type of person that I commit to whatever I'm doing at that time, or to whoever I'm with at the time. So I was like, okay, this shouldn't be difficult. You've used taxis, you've complained about taxis. What would you do to formalize this? And it was more of a conversation and a back and forth. And I think what they were trying to see there is how you think, and are you okay? How do you take criticism? And can you be led in terms of, because the person would give examples and then be like, do you think that's a good idea? And it was more of a conversation than it was an interview. And in the middle of it, you feel like, I'm doing crap. But the mentality I was in around that time of my life was, think like a man, because men don't let anything deter them. Like that was the mentality I started getting at that time. It was,
Even
I
share,
learned
like, we
yes.
go for it.
Yes, I learned this at the mine where somebody could be speaking absolute nonsense, but they are very confident in what they're saying. And you could even buy it and start questioning yourself, like, maybe I'm wrong. And I was like, sell it. You're speaking crap, sell that crap. So yeah, it was a weird interview, an interesting interview.
Okay. But it went well, and
it went well. And I think when I left, I think I knew it was going well when he was like, I really like you. Let me call the MD so that he meets you and speaks to you and all of that. And
okay.
May I add that going to a word school gave me extra brownie points in there. So yeah, that's how I got the job. And it has been a roller coaster, but a very interesting ride since then.
Okay. What are some of the upskillings that you needed to do, T, for you
skills. See, this is the one.
Yes, the skill set. For you to have this job.
This is the one thing I also I want people to be cognizant of is, especially someone that doesn't want to do mining, because I want to also just tie it up with our conversation, our topic is, don't sell your degree. When you go for an interview, do not market your degree. Your degree doesn't matter. What you learned and the skills, not even the content of what you learned, especially in a field outside of mining itself.
Okay.
What you learned technically doesn't matter. It's the skills that you have that matter. And I was fortunate enough to know how to market my skills. So I did SIRPAC and eWhittle. I didn't write on my CV competent or proficient in SIRPAC. No, I know how to optimize. That's your skill. You learned optimization. If we speak about mathematics, you didn't learn math 1014 and whatever the second year one in applied math. What you learned was analysis. So you can analyze. What you learned was analysis. In the courses of critical thinking, what you learned was report writing. So you market your skills and not the technical content. In ventilation, what you learn is solving things. You learn to solve. Do you understand what I mean? So I was very that I knew how to package my skills and market them for any type of job. So it wasn't about being in the mining space. So all they were looking for was, can you analyze? And I think every engineer can. I'm not sure. I can't speak for other degrees because I didn't go through them. I can speak for the engineering one. You learn analysis. You learn optimization. Do you understand what I mean? So it was more about packaging your skills and not your content.
But I'm still interested in what are some of the practical skill sets developed for today, where you are now.
What do I still need, or what? I'm not sure.
What do you use?
What do I use?
For instance, I use data analytics in my space. I use a bit of coding in my space. I use design in my space.
I use a lot of Excel, which I really stuck at the beginning, but I've gotten a hang of. On my day-to-day Excel, I need great report writing skills and actually good English, because we write feasibility studies, pre-feasibility studies, all of that. You need, it's really not that, you don't need something like wow and out of this world. So it's just more of, can you apply your mind? Can you analyze? Can you client? Because we speak a lot with our clients. We're like, we're a business to business company, but we engage a lot with our clients. So how well do you speak? Your listening skills. So it wasn't anything like coding that I needed to, learn some way extra. It was just enhancing some of the skills that I have. And now that I'm in it, there are more, of course, that I still need to develop, but they are more on soft skills than they are than they are hard skills that I need to learn. It's only a few courses that I need to take for the hard skills part, but for the most of it, it's just soft skills that you need to tie up on.
That helps a lot, T, because we often shy away from these non-production routes outside the mining industry. we don't have the right skill set because we think we're not equipped enough. Where am I going to start? Oh my God, I'm not experienced. So I think I love how you drove this conversation and the insights that you've shared with us, T, because don't be afraid. Learn just to package whatever you have done, optimization,
and the
towards
biggest,
the specific skill that
can I
you want.
just add on that? Just the biggest thing, guys, I can't stress this enough, is your mindset. I can't, because this is a high pressure environment. So your mindset has to be, you have to be open. You have to be open. You can't stick to, because I've seen a lot in the office, those that stick to what I know is what I know and I do what I do don't get anywhere. They actually resign after a couple of months.
Remember, this is not about job security.
Exactly, it's about your career. Exactly.
So you must be loyal to your career path.
Yes, yes. You must have you must have an idea of what you want from your career and where you see yourself, so that if a job no longer serves you, you can move on to a job that does. Therefore, if you don't have a career picture or goal or whatever it is, you won't even know what what you need to know, or what you won't learn easily. That's just what I'm saying. You'll be stuck on saying, I'm a mining engineer and I need to know only mining. You won't have like an open mindset into looking at all the avenues that are available. And I mean, I don't only do advisory and management. Sometimes I go do something in the other work streams and see what they do, because it's a skill that you'll never lose. You don't lose anything by learning something new. So that's the one thing that you need in life in general. It's just an open mindset. Don't be stuck on your ways.
Okay. Thanks for that, T. I enjoyed that conversation. Maybe just as a parting shot, I've also have a question at the back of my mind that do you still go on those doors and knock on those doors like you used to do with mining, in different departments? I hope you've not lost that, because that is a big part of corporate.
Some of my directors are irritated at me.
Known.
Definitely. I've got directors that are actually quite irritated, like, Tandeka, what do you want now? Because as I said, you just can't be stuck in your way. So I do go to project finance and modeling and be like, what's a mini task that you guys have that I could do? And from that you learn. That's how I learned practicing on Excel. I'd team up with the project financing consultants and work on models. Like, I can work on a model now, like a financial model. And that's something I could never dream that I would have done in my life. You learn these little stuff. I know now because basically what the company used to cater for a lot before the transition as well, because they also had a bit of a transition, is they catered a lot for the construction industry. So I know so much about construction right now that I would have never learned otherwise. I know so much about construction contracts that I wouldn't have known otherwise if I didn't knock on these different directors' doors and ask other consultants what they were busy with and where I could help and all of that. So yeah, I'm still knocking very hard on those doors.
Thank you for allowing me to host this conversation today. I'm hoping we will get feedback, from the wonderful peeps with T and with Lou and T. And yeah.
Yeah, no, just if I could just wrap, the conversation is wrapped up, but I just want to say to all the people watching is, although we're speaking about mining, the things that we speak about are just in general things that anyone can take and use, especially with the high job employment or unemployment rates in our country. And I'm seeing a lot of people, when they look for jobs particularly in their field. And that's something that could limit you. So throw away those restrictions, like remove those filters from your job searches and see the skills you have versus what the job requires. And if you've got that, apply. So I just wanted to put out there. And if you want to make the transition, it's never too late. right mindset. So yeah, guys, leave your comments if you've got any questions, whether directed to Mort. So do you have other social media, Mort, that I can?
No, they'll address me through here.
Or they'll address. I can
Yeah.
phone him privately or Mort. So.
Or LinkedIn. LinkedIn.
Okay, so you can get him on LinkedIn or just ask your questions here, and we will definitely get back to you. Thank you for watching. We have another episode coming up, so keep an eye on this channel.
I must turn this nature